Hello and welcome to Hollywood at Home from Arizona Public Media. I'm Victoria Lucas. Okay, imagine this. What if Martha Stewart couldn't boil water, had never decorated a room or tended a garden in her life, and lived in a cramped New York apartment? Yet millions of devoted readers believed she lived an absolutely perfect life in the country, whipping up fabulous recipes from ingredients she grew herself. Well, that's the premise of tonight's movie, the romantic screwball comedy Christmas in Connecticut. Barbara Stanwyck plays journalist Elizabeth Lane, who has become famous for magazine columns about her blissful life on a lovely farm, cooking elaborate meals for her loving husband and adorable baby. She has it all, on paper anyway, and is a role model for millions of readers who follow her guidance and inspiration. But what neither her publisher nor her fans know is that, in fact, Miss Lane is a cynical, unmarried New York working woman, much more interested in buying herself a mink coat than making dinner or finding a husband. One day, her publisher tells her he's come up with a brilliant publicity stunt to raise circulation. A U.S. Navy sailor who survived weeks drifting alone on a life raft was so starved upon being rescued that the medical authorities insisted he be fed nothing but bland, disgusting porridge until his system could readjust to food. During his recuperation, the sailor avidly read Miss Lane's food column and dreamt of her sumptuous meals. So, naturally, the publisher has invited the war hero and himself to enjoy a traditional Christmas dinner on Miss Lane's farm. And equally naturally, she panics. Her career will be over if the truth comes out. But where can she find a home in the country, a husband, and a baby at short notice? Well, Miss Lane is nothing if not resourceful. So together with her good friend Felix, the creator of all her delicious recipes, she devises an elaborate charade. And, of course, complications ensue, not least finding when she finds herself falling for the sailor. It looks like she will need a Christmas miracle to make it through the weekend. Barbara Stanwyck was an actress of amazing versatility, equally at home in screwball comedy, domestic dramas, thrillers, and romances. And she is a delight in the role of Miss Lane. Stanwyck had just wrapped her intense and Oscar-nominated performance as the villainous femme fatale in director Billy Wilder's Double Indemnity, and she took on the frothy, funny Christmas in Connecticut as a welcome change of pace. Yet even in comedy roles, Stanwyck always displayed her acting skill, keeping us aware that no matter how much Miss Lane pretends to be relaxed and at ease, she's walking through a minefield at every moment. Her co-star Dennis Morgan is charming as the returning war hero. Morgan had appeared in a number of Warner Brothers musicals and had just finished the biggest role of his career in God Is My Co-Pilot. Warner's was eager to get the popular young actor and singer back into military uniform for his next picture, and Morgan was delighted to work with Stanwyck, with whom he shares amazing screen chemistry. The supporting players are equally wonderful. Sidney Greenstreet gets a reprieve from his usual bad guy roles, think the Maltese Falcon, as he plays the uptight, irascible publisher. Una O'Connor is in fine form as the housekeeper with a thick Irish accent. And the columnist's eccentric friend and honorary uncle, Felix, is played by S.Z. Sakal, known to everyone in the film world as Cuddles. You'll probably recognize Sakal as the waiter at Rick's Cafe in Casablanca. Here he has given a more prominent role, and boy, does he make the most of it. Studio chief Jack Warner chose Peter Godfrey to direct. He had come to Hollywood from the UK as an actor, then later turned to directing. He was under contract to the studio and had helmed several lower-budget movies before getting the chance to work on his first major film, and he couldn't have had better luck. Barbara Stanwyck was beloved in the industry for being thoroughly professional yet friendly. She treated the crew with respect, learning all their names on the first day of shooting. Godfrey and Stanwyck became good friends on the set and went on to work together on 2 more films. Godfrey already knew Sidney Greenstreet from the London stage, and the 2 of them kept cast and crew laughing with their jokes and stories, making for a fun, lighthearted shoot. Christmas in Connecticut puts quite a modern spin on conventional gender roles in the mid-1940s. Accepted thinking at the time was that men returning from World War II service dreamed of domestic bliss on the home front, and that women, even those who had gotten a taste of independence and their own paychecks during the war, would meekly go back home where they belong. However, Miss Lane, a successful working woman before it was commonplace, doesn't need a husband to give her a fur coat. She can buy it herself. And as it turns out, the returning sailor is far more comfortable than she is with the baby that she's borrowed from a neighbor as a prop, the one she keeps referring to as it. He even knows how to change a diaper. The sailor's natural domestic abilities are part of his romantic appeal, while her complete incompetence is part of her charm. And hey, this is a romantic comedy. We enjoy the fun, confident that things will work out for everyone involved. Christmas in Connecticut began production in mid-1944, when the outcome of World War II was still uncertain. And studio chief Jack Warner was determined to minimize production costs. For example, the mink coat that Miss Lane buys herself as a reward near the beginning of the movie is the same coat worn by Joan Crawford in another Warner Brothers film, Mildred Pierce. And the picture-perfect stone farmhouse, complete with huge fireplaces and enormous festive Christmas trees. People still search the internet for the real Connecticut house, or at least its blueprints, hoping to recreate its elegant look. But alas, it was just another bit of movie magic, the product of the film's art director and studio construction crew. The entire movie was shot on Warner Brothers sound stages and backlot, even the runaway sleigh sequence, complete with snowdrifts made out of soap flakes. The movie was released in July 1945, 2 months after the war ended in Europe, but shortly before the Japanese surrender. It was one of the first films to benefit from the post-war euphoria that swept across the U.S., and it was an instant hit, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of the year. So now, please sit back and enjoy a movie with plenty of holiday charm, sparkling performances, and lots of food. If you can watch this without running to the kitchen for a snack, you're a stronger person than I am. From Warner Brothers Pictures, it's Christmas in Connecticut.